In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a fidget spinner in CAD, mainly using the circular pattern tool and also setting some parameters. To start with, we're going to make this basic shape, which will be the basic shape of what we're going to be doing. So firstly, you're going to go to File and then go to New. Okay, click here or click here. We are going to select a part. Now, if you can't see all of these options, that's because your templates may be closed, or you might be able to see your templates but not see any of these parts. Okay, so you need to go down to ENUS. All right, open up ENUS and then click on metric. That now means we can work in millimeters, and we want to start something called standard mm, and it's a part which we're creating. So highlight that one by clicking on it and then go down to create. That will now bring up a new file called part 1. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up some parameters. Now I'll show you how to do that, and I'll also show you what happens if we don't use parameters. But firstly, come up to FX here and you can click on that button there, and that will bring up the parameters. Parameters are like setting the the basic numbers that you're going to use throughout your project. So we're going to go down to, when this dialog box comes up, go to add numeric, and here we're going to call this bearing diameter. Now bearing you can write in, but you have to put an underscore. There cannot be any spaces here. Underscore, and I'm just going to put DIA. All right, just as a shorthand. I'm going to press tab in my top left corner across, and that will automatically bring me into this unit type. We're going to leave that at millimeters and press tab again. And here we're going to put 22 millimeters in, because that is the diameter of the bearing that we're going to use. I'm going to input that. Okay, that's my first parameter set. Now I can change this later, and that's the beauty of parameters. The next one I'm going to set is something called hole to hole. So I'm going to put in hole underscore to underscore hole. All right. Click tab, bring me over to the millimeters. We're going to keep it at millimeters. Tab again to bring you to here. And this is going to be 30 millimeters. I'll explain these in a minute, which ones they are. We're going to put in the wall thickness. So adding in a new numeric, WAL underscore THK is quite often a shorthand for thickness. Tab, and bring that across. And we're going to set that at probably 4 millimeters. We'll see how that goes for the minute. I'm going to add one called scoop diameter, scoop underscore diameter. We'll put this in at, actually this is probably a radius, so I might just put that, change that to, click on there and just change that to rad, and bring this tab across till you get to here, and then put that in at 15. And we might add something else in a minute. Let's just do the whole kind of the bearing thickness as well. So one more. So bearing underscore thickness, and we'll tab and put that in at 7. That means if anything changes, we get a different diameter bearing, we can change it here and it will just change in our whole part. I'm going to click done for the minute. I'll just show you on the original what all of those diameters mean. So here we're going to kind of draw it like this to start with. The bearing diameter is this circle diameter, that's going to be 22. The hole to hole thickness is distance is from here to here. Okay, the scoop diameter is going to be, or radius is going to be this curve here. The thickness, the wall thickness, is going to be from here to this one here. Okay, and then the bearing thickness is going to be the thickness along here. So I can change that now at any point I want to. So let's come to your part. Here is our part, and the first thing to do before you do anything is to save your work. So go to File, go to Save, click on Save, and it's really important that you now create a DT folder or maybe a CAD folder in your documents. So you should now navigate to your documents and create a CAD folder using maybe this button here, Create New Folder, call it CAD, and then save your document in that folder and call it Fidget Spinner and maybe V1. I'm going to call mine V1.1 because I've already done one, and I'm going to go back to where I was. I've already created my CAD. So here we go. We're going to call it, you can see I've got a few here. We're going to call it Fidget. I'm going to call it Fidget Spinner V1 is what the option you should do, and save. That's now saved. and we can keep saving as we go along. It does not automatically save. So next, you now need to create a sketch. You can see here we have 3D model and the tab called sketch. These are the first two main tabs that we're going to use. And when you create a sketch using this button, it will change from this tab to this tab. Okay, and it goes, you'll see what happens first. So click on this button, or you could have clicked on the arrow and that first button. It's 2D sketch here. All right, and now you have to click one of these work planes. This one, or this one, X, Y, and Z. Okay, we're going to create the one on the bottom here, like that. Okay, and you can see the box at the side here has moved so that you can see the top. So we're now working in 2D. You can see the 3D model tab has moved over to sketch, and all these tools, instead of being 3D, are now look like 2D. So the first one we're going to do is click on this circle tool here. So with that highlighted, you can now move over. We're going to click once like that, and then we're going to let go, and then we're going to just move our cursor out, and you can see the dimension getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now I could estimate my my bearing to be 20 millimeters and tap that in right now. Okay, I could do that, but actually we want to put in the dimension that we've already allocated for it. So I'm going to press the back button here and go back, click on my circle tool, click, and do this again. I'm just going to click this time roughly around the 20 millimeters. Then I'm going to come up to the dimension tool here, and I'm going to now select the circle like that, come out and click once, maybe twice for you to bring it up, and this is now bringing up the dimension. Now I could either tap, this is where you were just a minute ago when you were setting your dimension. I could either tap in 22 now, or if you use this little arrow key here, you can scroll down to list parameters, and here you've got all the ones you've just made. I'm going to click on bearing diameter there at the top, and then click OK. And you can now see that has taken that measurement and put it in as 22. It's got the little symbol for parameters there called FX. Okay, now we're going to do exactly the same thing by zooming out a little bit. You can zoom out using the wheel on your mouse to zoom out. It's important to have a mouse whilst you're working on the laptops at school. Click on the circle button again, and directly above it, I want you to click another circle. Now, let's say I did add in 21 by accident just this time. I can always have to get out of this tool, I can either press the escape button in the top left of your keyboard, which can you see if I press that now, you can see it's now no longer highlighted, and it's not on my cursor here, hasn't got that little button on it. If you were still in it, another way to do it is by right clicking and clicking OK. That's also got me out of the tool. Now, instead of pressing dimension, I could click on that double click on that 21. And again, I want to come over and list that parameter as a bearing diameter. Okay, like that. Okay, so that's now put it automatically to 22 there. Okay, if I had accidentally come up and just clicked on here and just done that diameter, that circle like that, I'd just go up to the dimension tool and just click on the circle, click once, click on that arrow and down to list parameters, and then bearing diameter, and then click on the tick button. Okay, the next dimension I want to do, so if this is not highlighted, come and click on the dimension tool here. I now want to click on the center of this circle like that, and then click on the center of this circle once, let go. Don't click and drag, just click and let go, and then bring my cursor out to the side and click here once as well. And that will bring up this diameter again. And this time we're going to click on here. We're going to go down to our list parameters, and we're going to go to hole to hole. And we've already set that as 30, so that should click on, and there we go. Now that's perfectly dimensioned that hole away from this hole here.